Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The trailer dropped a few hours ago, and I've spent some time going through and analyzing the trailer and just saying things that I find interesting or pointing out new Pokemon that are coming back to the game. Now, the first thing I want to point out is that they actually gave us the name of the region. I believe this is the first time they've officially come out and said it, and it is the Paldea region, which I believe most likely comes from the Spanish word aldea, which means village. First up on the list is the fact that both Growlithe and Arcanine are making a return. I don't remember if they appeared in an earlier trailer. In fact, I don't really know what Pokemon have appeared in previous trailers, so I will just be pointing out all the Pokemon that I do see that are returning to the game. The other thing that comes up next is the fact that both Sawsbuck and Deerling are making a return, and I think it would be super cool to see like seasons return, but what will most likely be the case is that different Sawsbuck and Deerlings will appear in different climates in the Paldea region. Next, we see here that both Houndoom and Houndour are making a return. And immediately after that, we see Wooper is making an appearance, this time with a new form, a regional form for the Paldea region, which leads me to believe that its evolution Quagsire will also have a regional variant form, which is very cool. So we see Snowrunts here are returning to the game, meaning both Frostlass and Glalie are in the game as well, again, unless there's some sort of regional variant. And then, of course, Gyarados is here, which means Magikarp is in here. They've basically been in every single Pokemon game. It's a given that they're going to be in this one. Another thing here is there's going to be a day-night cycle. We already knew that, but Honchkrow and Murkrow are making a return, which leads me to believe that there are some Pokemon that will only spawn at night and some that will only spawn at day, seeing as they do like to have Murkrows come out at night. So just a thought. Next thing I want to say is that the city and towns, they actually look amazing. We'll see a bunch of we'll be seeing a bunch of them throughout this trailer, but they just look really, really cool. And the next thing is that we are actually students at an academy, and I'll let this play here in the background. And this actually makes sense because I always thought it was weird that we always just played as kids who just roamed the region, but now it's tied to a thing called the Treasure Hunt. It is a generic name, but I am curious to see why it's called that. Anyway, it also appears that both Kiraidon and Miraidon, they appear to be attainable from very early on. And they also seem to be taking the place of the mounts. They will be replacing the bikes, the TM/field Pokemon. It looks like in Legends Arceus, like how the Pokemon in Legends Arceus were, that's what these Pokemon are going to be, which is cool. And we actually just missed a couple of things there, but I wanted to get to this point right here first. But as we can see, it's scaling the mountain. Later on, we'll be seeing it kind of running, jumping, and then flying or gliding. So this Pokemon, this legendary, is going to be doing everything. Anyway, we're going to back up for a second here. And as we see, there's just more Sawsbuck in a different area. And then we see Mareep, and we see a little Flaffy hiding in the bush on the left there. So both Mareep, Flaffy, and Ampharos are going to be making a return to this game. And then as we see here, climbing, running, jumping, and then flying across the land. I am glad they are correcting what I would consider a mistake from Generation 8, though, by not locking the legendaries away in the post-game like they did in Generation 8 with the Sword and Shield Pokemon. Why am I forgetting their names? Zamazenta and Zacian, there we go. So we will be able to obtain them pretty early on by the looks of it, which is amazing. Just, I want to say everything in this trailer looks super cool so far. Also, Go-Go is making an appearance. Possible Go-Go evolution? Maybe, I don't know. It'd be really cool. And then we see just a little more of what the legendaries can do. Just missed that, but if we go forward a little bit, again, there's Go-Go. But then we also have Dreadnought making an appearance, which means Shootle will also be making a return. And then immediately after that, we saw Cufant in the background there, which means both Cufant and Copperajah will also make a return. And I just want to point out, nighttime looks really cool, all right? The academy looks huge. We just saw a giant library there. There's classrooms. There's a sunflower flower. And then this city right here. This city with the Meowth on its sign. It's giving me a very, like, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, or it gives me that type of vibe, just the aesthetic of it, and I think it looks really cool. We also see here a bunch of different shot fronts again, but I can't really make out what exactly they are. But shot fronts, a lot of them are making a return, which is really cool. Again, nighttime. We do see the Fletchlings here, so the Fletchling in its evolution line is making a return. And then right here, there's a new bred Pokemon, and I'll probably go over that in the next video, kind of what these are, what their type is, and everything. But I just want to say these things look absolutely adorable. I love it. Up next is something I'm super excited about, and it's Slacking, just laying down, looking like a boss. Also, the slacking line is making a return, and I'm super excited about that. I really love the slacking line, so I'm excited. I'm excited for these Pokemon to make a return. You know, and especially if we get, we're not thinking about competitive right now. Slacking and his Pokemon line, or its evolution line, is making a return. Also, Cacturne and Cacnea are also making a return, and I think it would be really cool to see these Pokemon get like a new regional form evolution, kind of like what they did with Zigzagoon and Linoon, although they did give those two regional forms and the regional evolution, so I very much doubt that Cacturne would get a regional evolution here. Although, with them being in the forefront, who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us. It would be a really cool thing, though. Immediately after this, we see Donphan, so the Donphan evolution line is making a return. And then we see a Dragonair here, which means the Dragonite line is also making a return. Immediately after that, Pineco makes an appearance, which means the Pineco line will also make a return. And then we got Misdreavus and Mismagius, and they are also making a return. Immediately after that, we see the Beartic line, so they're making a return, and obviously, Pikachu makes a return. Now, this one is cool. So we see here in the bottom right, we see a Pachirisu, which means Pachirisu is making a return. And I would very, very much like to see this little guy get an evolution. I love Pachirisu. I want to see it get some love. And then if you look in like the bottom left area, we get to see a Swablu, which means the Swablu line also makes a return. It's hiding in the back there. In the next shot here, we do see a Drifloon also kind of hiding in the background. So the Drifloon line will also be making a return. And we also see that they do have some hats for sale. So there will be hat customization, most likely. I'm just excited to see what kind of clothing options they have for customization in these games. Because as we see in the left side of the screen here, so far, everyone's just kind of in their uniforms. So I'm really excited to see what they end up doing. Immediately after that, we see Urchin is making a return, as well as what appears to be like a fast food place in this game. And I think it would be super cool if they did like another sit-down restaurant, if that made its return. I think this is something they did, I believe, I want to say in Gen 6, but in that game, people would also battle you as you ate, and it was just a good way to gain experience. But it'd be really cool to see what kind of features they have and just like a food place. It's interesting, it's weird, I don't know. And then up next we have a character I haven't seen the name for her yet, but she might be a possible gym leader. And we got Macho Man here. I'm excited to see what well, I think he's the professor. Or one of the professors or something. But yeah, Macho Man is what I'm gonna call him. And I just want to say the trainer classes are looking really cool. We'll see a couple of them here, and they just all look really nice. One thing I do want to point out is we see here on the, I think he's the headmaster, but we see that he has 6 Premier Balls with his Pokemon in it, and I think it would be so cool if the players' Pokeballs also appeared on their model, like it does here with the headmaster. I doubt that'll happen, but it'd be really cool. And then we just get to see another shot of the academy here. We do see Psyduck in the background, so the Psyduck line is making a return. And then we just get to see some more of the region, which it looks so expansive. Like here we're up on a mountain where it's snowing, and then there's like a compound here or something. Like it looks very, very militaristic. Really cool looking though. And then we get to see kind of a close-up of this tower with the ladders, which means we'll be climbing ladders in this game, which will be really cool. And then this shot here is just amazing. We get to see what looks like a quarry. And then if you look on the left side, that yellow truck there, I bet that Mew is under that truck. Then we got our rival here. The professors make a reappearance. We already know them. A possible new rival in her. I forget what her name was. Or her, him, I'm not sure. The gender is very ambiguous, so I'll have to figure that out later. But a possible new rival, and then we got the upperclassman here who's also a rival? Maybe? And then right here, this is a new gym leader, and she has like this underhand style throwing of the Pokeball. So maybe they're going to be bringing back how you throw Pokeballs, kind of like they did, I want to say in Gen 7. Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you could actually talk to somebody and change the style or change how you threw the Pokeball. And I thought that was a really cool feature that they had in just a single game, and it'd be really cool if they brought that back. Up next, we have a new whale-looking Pokemon. I do forget this Pokemon's name as well, but it's a new Pokemon. And then there's this car. I have no words for it. It looks interesting. It looks cool. And then up next, we do have the three, they're just showing the starters again. And then right here is something that I thought was cool. So the online play will actually allow you to use your mounts, as we see here. The Rotom Pokedex seems to be making an appearance, but it's a phone again. I don't know what they're doing. It's always, they've used the same gimmick for years now. Am I a little disappointed that the Rotom phone is making, its return? Yeah, but at the same time, I kind of understand why they're doing it. They can explain the little features in the Pokedex that they might not be able to by just saying, oh, Rotom's allowing this to happen. And then we see in the next portion here, running into a cave and finding something that goes with the new gimmick. We'll go over that in just a second, though. And then as we see here, that was quite a few new Pokemon, or returning Pokemon. So we do see that the Eevee line is making a return, and I am still hoping for a new Eeveelution. I've been avoiding some leaks, but there have been rumors of it. Nothing confirmed yet, but I think a new Eeveelution would be fantastic. We also see here that Scizor and Scyther are making a return. As we mentioned, Altaria in the background. The Electros line is making a return, as well as the Hatterene line. And then we see here, the Noibat line is making a return, and a possible new evolution animation. As we see here, it kind of skips the animation, but it might be something new. A new trade animation possibly as well, and if we skip back to that for just a second, we also see that both Ice-Q and Stonejourner are making a return, and they're most likely going to be version exclusives, just like initially, just due to the fact that they're being traded between the two different games. We do see Golduck reappear here, as well as Hydreigon and a Hariyama, so both the Hydreigon line and the Hariyama line are making a return to these games. And honestly, I think that the treasure hunt is just the friends we make along the way. Here's the new gimmick, and we do see that Persian makes a reappearance, but this new gimmick is something that's really cool. We do see a Azumarill there as well, but what this gimmick does, and I'll go into it in detail a little bit more in the next video, but it could give a Pokemon a different type. So we see here, like, on top of their heads, a Lilligant makes a return as well, but we'll wait for it to zoom out. But like the Persian here appears to have like a normal gem on his head, and what this new gimmick does is it boosts like the stab damage, as well as some of them change the type. And actually that's what we'll wait for here in just a second. There's going to be a Dragonite that pops up. Yes, this Dragonite here wearing a chandelier on its head, which leads me to believe that this Dragonite is of the fire type, which is really cool. And then immediately after this, we are given a look at the legendaries again, and it's possible that these Pokemon also have multiple forms, which is a really, really cool thing. Anyways, that does it for the trailer. A little in-depth kind of review of everything that appears. Just look at how big Hariyama is. And yeah, it looks like maybe if the NPC, the one on the right here next to the Hariyama that I pointed out before, maybe not a gym leader, but maybe a teacher at the school. We will see. But yeah, that does it for the trailer. Check back tomorrow for a more in-depth look at some of all these. I'm going to be checking out the website and going over the information on there. But guys, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!